sought Cindy out in the next, finding my next program, because I was at a point where I was essentially lost, lost in life, lost in my career. I had certainly had, my own level of success, but had just fallen kind of from one role to another role, and really ultimately wasn't moving through my life with intention, and didn't know how to find that. And through a couple of different contacts who were very different people, had mentioned to me that they had both worked with you, with Cindy, and I thought, well, if this woman can work with these two very different people and help them on their paths, and find, help them find their successes, well, then she can probably work with me as well. And so, and just the fact that it was, the program is titled Finding Your Next, I was just absolutely at a point where I was ready for that. And so I came out to the ranch to find my next. So I arrived at the ranch on a Wednesday afternoon, and I think I'd gotten to read Cindy's book. So I had some notion. I'd gone to the website. I'd seen some pictures. So I had some notion of what I was arriving to. But I think what was so lovely is feeling very embraced in every way. This lovely place to stay, set up, for you, with you in mind. And it's just such a welcoming environment, between Cindy and Matthew hosting in such a gracious way. It just it made our time together very special. And it's really all about you. It's 100% you from the moment you step on the property. And perhaps for some people might find that a lot to take in, but honestly, if you just absorb it and go with it, and enjoy it, and make it kind of the best event for you that you possibly can, you'll get a tremendous lot out of it. That first evening, Cindy gave me homework to work on, and it was kind of coming up with key themes, words that describe times in your life when you're thriving and feeling most successful. And you would think that would be simple within like three thematic areas, to just write down these words that describe how I am when I'm thriving. It was significantly harder than I had anticipated, um, to really like dig deep and think about that. And I think it's easier also to go to kind of the negatives, like when I'm not thriving, and you know those sorts of things, but to think about the flip side of that. And it's like, okay, well, what does that mean then? If I'm not having these things, what does it mean then to actually thrive? And so it was very interesting to see what came of that exercise. But then what was even more curious, the next day, you think, well, I just have these little lists of words. How could these possibly be helpful? How could this possibly be enough to help me find what it is that I should be doing next? And sure enough, because of Cindy's brilliance and her gifts, her superpowers, she can draw that out from those words, and help you find your path, help you find your next. And I think that's the brilliance of it. Is it may seem like something on the surface that's so very simple, but really there's so much work. It's so profound, the work. That was, I think, the word that stood out to me most, as I kind of thought about what the work that we've done together. Very profound work, simple on the surface, but incredibly meaningful and very life-changing, as it turns out. I have talked to friends since I participated in the immersion program. And if you are at the point where literally looking, just as the title would imply, you're looking to find your next, if you feel like you're in that position, have a conversation with Cindy. You can figure out between the two of you whether this is something that can help you, or maybe, maybe look into other things. But if this is the right thing for you, um, yes, be prepared to work in this very sort of profound way. It's going to be tiring. It's surprisingly tiring, but in the very best way. Like you feel like you're spent, but you're spent because you have just essentially laid out, what your life may look like next. So that's going to be work. So don't think it's, just come for like a skip through the park. You've got some work to do, but that work is 100% worth it in every way, and can make for real meaningful change in your life.